Hello and welcome to Vikram Loves to Freelance. Now, when I look at freelance sites, the feeling which I get from within is that there's still a lot of scope, and yet the extent of growth which can actually happen in the case of these freelance sites still hasn't happened. And that's where I feel that these sites in particular need to do two things. One is they need to promote themselves aggressively, and two, they need to have, or rather instill in clients, in all potential clients, existing clients, a certain conviction. So promotion and conviction are essentially the two key elements which I feel freelance sites particularly need to work upon. Because when I look at the real world, what I largely see is that there is so much scope in terms of people actually doing the same work. They're going, and for that they're actually making all that effort of going to offices. See, it doesn't work to the interest of both the employees as well as the employers. When I look at things from the employer's point of view, it had he or she or the company, it has to spend on so many resources. You have an office, so either it's on rent or it's your own property. Either way, you're spending. You have to spend on electricity, supplies, provision of safety, security, food, etc., etc., etc. That is one thing. And from when I look at things from the employee's point of view, that whole that rigmarole, that regime, that routine of having to go to work each and every single day, get up in the morning, brave traffic. See, when I look at my local market over here, what I see is that especially office hours, and I'm sure this is true for practically every part of the world, that office hours in particular literally stand for and symbolize rush hours. That morning rush hour when people are getting to work, and that evening rush hour when people are getting back from work. So either way you're stuck in traffic, and then here locally I have to brave additional elements like pollution. I have to brave huge traffic jams. I have to in the place of a public transport system which doesn't really work very efficiently. I have to brave various other elements as well. And especially when I look at people who actually commute, say, very long distances, they have many other uphill sort of battles to fight at every front. And when I look at jobs wherein the same kind of delivery model can work so just as easily, why are more and more clients not adopting this model? That is where I feel there's something which is particularly wrong. And again, I think it boils down to the same thing, wherein first of all, the number of players on this entire freelance space, they're limited. And the word freelance itself, we need to sort of come out of that freelance realm, and look at something like remote delivery. I look at it as remote delivery, wherein independent of the contractor, the employee, the freelancer, whatever word you want to use, that person, independent of that person's location, work can easily and seamlessly be delivered from that person to the end client, whether it's a company which has hired him or her full time, or whether it's, say, I don't know, anybody who's working on a need based basis, the way we work on these freelance sites. So either way, something, a sort of a relationship on those lines, if it can be worked out, which I really strongly see a lot more potential. There are many people who are doing the same kind of article writing work. They're doing creative work. They're doing designing work. They're working on press releases. I agree that when you're in an office like environment, there are a lot of related jobs which you do, which may or may not be possible if you're located remotely. But at the same time, when I look at the overall dynamics in terms of the cost savings, in terms of the effort savings, in terms of the time savings, in terms of not having to fight all other ex- extraneous elements which are unnecessary, which do not really contribute to your productivity, rather they take away your productivity. So if these elements can be done away with, I agree that there are certain things which will probably never happen or maybe who knows, on a remote delivery basis, you cannot possibly have, say, a McDonald's burger being delivered or a KFC chicken being delivered. I don't think, the outlet just throws the chicken or the burger at a computer screen and it pops out of your, I don't know, your webcam screen or that, little camera or something. I don't know, never know, technology the way it evolves, but I highly, really doubt it if that's gonna happen. But seriously speaking, that was just a joke. I don't think that's gonna happen. But if seriously speaking, there's a lot of work which can actually be delivered remotely, and yet it is not being delivered remotely. So my vision for the future would be that more and more, especially small businesses which unnecessarily have to cope with, see, real estate in my part of the world is, especially in certain cities in my country, is one of the most expensive in the world. There are certain streets, there are certain districts, neighborhoods which they are well known to be among the most expensive in the world when we look at rate per square feet or rate per square yard. And that is the case. That's not where you want to be spending a lot of your money on. You want to focus your money on probably all those factors which can probably be controlled, and at the same time you're able to maximize your profits. Your profits will be maximized when you save on all these other costs which can easily be done away with. And one of the ways of doing so would be by maximally utilizing these freelance or these remote delivery sites. So therefore I'll conclude that the promotion efforts on the part of these sites needs to be much more than what it is at the moment. And the kind of conviction, and conviction will probably come from promotion. Promotion will probably not be the only factor which will ensure conviction, but it'll definitely be a major factor towards bringing about an element of conviction in prospective clients, that yes, this is something that can work. So if they're convinced about that, I'm sure there'll be many more clients who will come onto the space. And when there are more clients, it will be good for the entire freelance community, the community of people who deliver work remotely like this. And eventually I think pay scales also will definitely improve when there are more clients, more quality clients who have, now that they are saving so much on real estate costs, on transportation and overall infrastructure costs, they can definitely, for that actual work which they require and they take from these contractors, they can definitely pay better. So that's my, I think it will be a win-win situation for everyone. Cheers.